on this here. Oh. Well, subs, we have an announcement to make.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell them?
You can tell them.
I'll tell
I wanted to tell them, but
Yeah.
no, I couldn't tell them.
Yeah. 1 year ago today, we took a drive to the courthouse here in the county
Yeah.
and signed up for our marriage license.
Yeah. You caught me off guard, Sibs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a spur of the moment thing, and it was my decision that we didn't make it public until now because emotionally I was still recovering from, the loss of my, first wife to cancer and all that. So, but behind the scenes, Karen was, my strength because I needed someone to talk to. I was really going through a difficult time. I was making videos, continuing to do that to try to give me, focus. And because behind the scenes, I was really fighting, I don't think it was depression, but it was a depressed state is what I call it. And behind the scenes, Karen and I were talking. And we talked for over a year. I mean, we didn't start talking until maybe 4 months after, those who followed my channel, Yachty was my first wife. And that's when she decided to come down, over a year later, June of last year for my birthday, and for my 49th birthday actually. And we got to meet each other. And before she left, she was leaving a few days after the 4th. What day was it?
That's the 7th.
It was the 7th. So on July 2nd, I proposed that evening. And it was a spur of the moment thing, July 3rd. Actually went down on the 2nd that day and applied for the license. Was it the 1st?
No, it was the 3rd. It was the 2nd. We got married on the 3rd.
Yeah, it was official on the 3rd. And we submitted the paperwork. She had already had her passport and everything, and that she needed, for plus her Social Security card and all that, which is required, and all that for doing a marriage license. And it was kind of a quick thing. We didn't have like anything extravagant. We basically it was kind of our decision as well. Mostly Kate's that we just want to keep things kind of quiet and on the down low. I didn't have a lot of money to spend on an extravagant wedding and spur of the moment. Like I said, it was quick and wouldn't be enough time to get anything together and this, that, and the other. Plus she was leaving, so we just kind of kept it, on the down low. And behind the scenes, she, we just continued to talk, and I felt like this was a second chance at happiness that I was granted, and I didn't want to let that opportunity slip by. So that's why I snagged you.
Yeah, I got snagged, Subs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So today officially is our 1st anniversary. So I apologize for any of those that think we were keeping y'all in the dark. Again, that was my decision because I emotionally was not ready. But as time has gone on, of course, Karen's been here since October, and it's really been amazing. It's been an amazing experience. We're both happy. Aside from me working crazy hours, which obviously is affecting my videos because I can't put videos out as often as I used to. But I just got off of work not even 30 minutes ago and figured, hey, let's go ahead and make a video and let all you guys know that we are official, as you like to say.
Yeah, we're official, Subs.
Yeah. So, and on the 1st anniversary, I wanted to get you this.
Ooh.
You can open the big one first because I think you'll like it.
I can open the big one.
Yeah. Or you can open the card, actually. There's a card in there, too.
Because I get the big one pretty often, Subs.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
And she said it, I did.
Oh, it's sealed.
Yeah, well, you have to open it.
Oh.
It's sealed with my love. You have to unseal it. You can show the subs the card. It's pretty funny.
Oh, okay. I can show them the
Yeah.
Can you see that, Subs?
Yeah. pretty good.
Oh, okay.
It says, "Honey, considering all the things you do, I know I don't say this nearly enough. Nice butt." This is pretty funny. I saw this and I'm like, yeah, I have to get this card for her.
Yeah.
I'm so romantical.
These are romantical seeds.
Yeah, happy anniversary. Actually, it's happy first anniversary. You probably can't see the first there, but yeah, so I got you that card just for you.
We got an anniversary seeds.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't matter to me, subs to wait, because, what I went through, he, death doesn't affect me the same because of the line of work that I was in for 25 years. It doesn't have the same connotation that it would have with him or you or the average person, that's really not used to dealing with it. Most people only deal with death through grandparents. Most of us outlive our parents. And siblings, as you get older, they and your friends eventually will start dropping off. But as far as spouses and things like that, most people cannot handle death. And to me, it doesn't bother me anymore. And that's one of the reasons that I got out of the medical field, because death doesn't bother me anymore. I'm not saying I don't have feelings towards it, but they're not as deep as the average person would be, because I'm so used to seeing it in so many different forms that it's not going to affect me the way it would affect someone who has never really had to deal with it before.
And that's kind of where, with me, I had never really, other than losing grandparents, but they lived to be ripe old age,
Yeah.
a ripe old age and all. But to lose a spouse, basically halfway through your life, in a sense, because she was 46 and I was 47. And, to me, it affected me more than I had anticipated. I wasn't prepared for it. And, I was talking, really the only people I had to talk to was my parents. And that wasn't, growing up, we argued a lot. We had a lot of differences. We still do to this day. And they were really not the ones I needed to talk to, and, because I was getting a parent reality check. Well, it's time to pick up the pieces and find a job. Well, believe me, I know I needed to find a job more than ever, but emotionally I was not prepared. And that's kind of where we were. I was still recovering, from the loss of what I had been used to for 16 years. And that's not something you can just slam the door on and start anew. I'm not a robot. And so that's kind of what I was going through behind the scenes. And, Kate, like she said, she's gone through it more times than count.
Thousands of times.
Yeah, thousands of times.
And most people don't do that. Most people, they have, like, their grandparents, their parents, their friends' grandparents, stuff like that. But me, I was seeing it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, it did affect me at first many, many, many years ago, because, of course, nobody's used to that. People come into the emergency room, and they're, like, almost dead. It's called what we call twilight, where they're between the two worlds. They're almost there, but not quite there yet. And there was this one guy when I first started going into the emergency room, and he was in a motorcycle accident, and there was only half of him, but he was still alive. How, I don't know, but he didn't last more than, I'm going to say 10 minutes, because I don't think it was even that long. And he kept saying that, his legs were really hurting him, except he didn't have any. That's how bad the accident was. And there was nothing they could do for him, because he had literally just about bled out. So there was nothing anybody could do for him except wait. And he was in twilight. He was between the two worlds. And, the younger ones didn't really want to be in there with him because they weren't really used to seeing something that horrible. And, so I went in there, and I sat with them. And afterward, they were telling me, you know how you watch the horror movie subs and somebody's laying on the table and they grab your arm and try to pull themselves up on you? Well, that's what they thought was going to happen, but that's not what happened.
Mm.
He just was like, boy, are my legs all right? Because they're really bothering me. And then he would like drift off. Then he would come back, so he was, but we weren't bringing him back. He wasn't hooked up to anything. This was him. We weren't giving him any artificial means of support. And I was like, oh no, they look fine, because he didn't know what was going on. He was just about gone anyway, so I wasn't going to tell him or anything like that. And I was like, oh no. I said, no, they're fine. He's like, are you sure? Because they're really hurting me. I was like, oh no. I said, they're perfectly fine. And then he went off again, and then he came back, and he turned around, he looked at me, he said, did God send you? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, I think God sent you. And I said, well, maybe he did, maybe to help you, for, this, I didn't know what to say. Yeah. I said, well, maybe to help you out a little bit. And he said, oh, that's really nice. And not too long after that, he just laid back like he was going to sleep, and that was it.
Yeah.
He was gone,
Yeah.
after that.
I mean, for me, seeing what I saw, behind the scenes in the hospital in Acapulco, and I know it scarred me for life. I know that for a fact, and it's changed me in more ways than I can think. And in a sense, that's probably hell, I mean, honestly, you could probably mention how you and I started talking from the video.
Well, I had never seen his channel before. I'd never heard of it. Because I like spooky stuff. So, all the spooky stuff on YouTube, I'm subscribed to him because I love that stuff. And when he has to go to bed early, that's what I'm out there doing with the spooks, with all the lights out. I'm sitting there, watching spooks. So this one afternoon, I was watching, I think it was Weird World I was watching. And over on the right, where they have everything that's recommended for you, this one video of his kept popping up. It was the Money Talk follow-up. And no matter where I went, if I went to check my email or wherever and I came back to YouTube, that one video of his kept popping up, on the right-hand side. No matter where I went, no matter whose videos I was watching, that one kept popping up. That's the only one I had ever seen. No other one did. So I was like, well, Money Talk follow-up. No, what does that mean? I didn't know if it was like, these shows where they show you about investments and stuff like that. At first I thought that's what it was until I clicked on it. And then I was like, oh, okay. So here we go with this shit again. Somebody else is going through the bullshit.
Yeah. And I was letting a lot of stuff out there that I probably shouldn't have, but I needed a place to talk, to vent, and YouTube was it. So I was kind of letting a lot of personal information out. I know I had some subs that came back, that this shouldn't be the way I need to talk about my deceased wife, but
well, you know what?
It's the way it was. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it was.
Well, they didn't go through it.
Right.
Now, if you go through it, then you have say-so. If you've never been through it, shut up. Because you don't know what you would do.
Yeah.
So. if you were in that position, there's like, oh well. because I read some of that dumb shit, and it was like, oh well, you act like she was just with you for the money. That's why she was there. Okay, let's just call it the bullshit what it is. Okay, it was a marriage of convenience from the beginning. He just didn't know. Everybody else did. Yeah. And she never should have done that. She never should have.
Yeah. There was so much of our money that went a lot more than I ever found out about until later. And I've mentioned this before. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars that went down behind my back and went down to Mexico and to her family. Now, I knew of some of it because, her brother was sick, her mom, is up there in age, but I didn't really know the extent. I knew some money was going to support our boutique because it was kind of upside down the last 3 years, but for paying wages, rent. There's reason some of it went there, but not all of it. There's a lot that I found out afterwards that I'll never get back, and apparently you had went through this way back in your first marriage.
When I first got married, Subs, I was 19 years old, and he was 21. He was in the Army at Fort Bragg up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and everything was okay as long as we were here because we were away from those jackals.
His family.
His family, yeah, because I told him, when we go back to Pittsburgh, our marriage is over. And he, didn't want to admit it, but he didn't have to. I wasn't stupid. And when we went back, that's exactly what happened. But like I said, I wasn't going to play that game with them. I'm not working to take care of you. You're grown. Take care of your damn self. If you can't afford to get something, I'm not going to buy it for you. Now, and I told him right in front of them, if you want to be a damn fool for your family, go ahead. But don't expect me to be a damn fool for them. That's not happening. I wasn't a damn fool for my family. My family wasn't like that. My family is not like that.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to, you have this and this, and you can help me. I ain't helping you do shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you're married, between the two of you, you can't do it, well, then you don't need it. But I'm not going to sit around there and risk my relationship for you. I'm not doing that. No. But we don't expect that from each other. We would never do that. Why people do that, I don't know. But if you want to be a dumbass for your family, be one by yourself. Don't drag somebody else into it, because that's not going to end well when they find out what you did. Like I said, Richard didn't beat her ass. Somebody else would have. When she discovered that Richard wasn't going to whoop her ass, she kept doing it. Kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it. Because she figured, he's not going to whoop my ass. He's not going to put his hands on me. If she'd have been married to a Mexican, he'd have beat the shit out of her for taking his money without his permission. But Richard didn't do that.
Because it was our money, really, but she tried controlling the business when she was in Mexico, the family. She wanted the family to revolve around her. What she said goes, because she had access to dollars. And I saw that, down there firsthand. When you have access to dollars, you have power in Mexico. And, I was just, in a sense, along for the ride. The videos I portrayed, again, we did have a lot of fun, but again, behind the scenes, there was a lot of financial treachery going on. And, the only way it was going to stop, unfortunately, was either divorce or fate. And it's crazy, but, somehow it's weird, but I call it a twist of fate, because I did not know how to resolve this situation. The money situation was getting worse. Like I said, I'm not going to rehash the past. What's done is done. And
But there was no reason for that.
No, there wasn't. But
because
now,
you want to be in control of everything. But the point of this, Subs, is that she was given the impression that she was the brains. Okay, if you know how to do this, why weren't you established before you got married? She didn't have shit. She didn't have a pot to piss in or window throw. She didn't even have her own place. No, she didn't.
No.
She didn't have shit until she married Richard. Then all of a sudden, everything was hers. Her money. Her van. My this, my that. Like what I tell you, the people who come with the least try to control everything. And that was like my ex-husband. He please. together, yeah, we had together, but before he met, he didn't have shit. I mean, he was in the Army, yeah, but he left high school and went to the Army. You know, but I was already working. I was working 2 jobs. I always had 2 jobs. So it wasn't like, you know, I came to the table empty-handed. I didn't come to this relationship empty-handed. You know, Richard has everything that he had before I knew anything about him. You know, he has his truck, he has his van, he has his house. You know, my name's not on none of that. You know why? Because I said not to do that. I didn't help him get those things. So I don't want my name on it. They're not mine. They're his. He had to go through hell. You know, the hell that I went through, subs, we didn't have a house. We were renting. So, but if my parents had bought us that house, no, his ass would have been gone. You know, because that would have been my house. You know, but no, we were renting, which was just as good, you know, because he could go his way and I could go mine, whatever, which is exactly what happened. But the way Richard was screwed was, subs, this was planned from the beginning. Okay? Let's just call it what it is. Alright? Because you don't come to this conclusion on your own. They all sat around and planned all that shit. I told him that. They all sat around and said what they were going to do and what she was going to do and how she owed them. He never was in the equation. Never.
Yeah, I mean, I discovered that with the land. You know, the land in Mexico. I was not even on title when we purchased it in 2009. I was told it was because of my immigration status. That was not the case. It was a control thing. You know, she had all the money that she had wired down at that time, about $6,500 worth. I think it was more than that because we paid $6,500 per plot of land, and that was money that we were working together back then in the 2000s. After 2010, that's when I think things really started to change. It started to, really after the housing market crashed, the money really became tight for us. By 2010, clients were dropping off, and she was looking for ways to get more money, and tapping into the Charlotte market was the next option. And when people ask why couldn't you control the money, I should have had more control over it. Well, when you're from Mexico and you're working in a Mexican store that has a wire transfer machine 6 feet away from your desk, and I'm down here in Rock Hill trying to run things here, in our office. How am I supposed to control that when the wire transfer machine is 6 feet away and there's the money already gone? I mean, sure, I guess maybe I could have been there the entire time, but we'd lose money here. So it was kind of splitting up, but at the same time there was the same financial deception going on. That was actually, I guess, part of the plan then too. She'd tap into that market, make what money she could, wire it down. Whatever was left, she'd buy some stuff for the boutique we had, because the clothing stores were not far away, where she went to shop. And when she came home, there was maybe, I don't know, $20, $40, which again, I'm struggling to pay the bills, and that's another, when she was sick, I came close to losing this house. Everything that I had worked for when I bought this house in 1996, I worked hard, by myself to get this. There's a lot of history here, and I didn't want to lose it, but because I was down there trying to help her going through her cancer, I was falling behind on the payments, and I had to borrow money from my parents, which I did not want to do, because if you have strict parents, kind of like mine, they raised me to be self-sufficient. I was, until this financial travesty was going on, and I could not get control of the money. And the bills were starting to get, we were going month to month. Now, she wanted me to get a job, and granted, I could have gotten a job, but then she would have gotten control of all the money in our business. That was not part of the plan. And it was our business, not hers. So again, I was fighting this control thing behind the scenes for a number of years. Now, luckily, I managed to get things stabilized. Unfortunately, it was after she passed. Again, with the help of my parents, I give them credit because I had to borrow from them to make my house payments for a while until I got home. And then, trying to find a job, all I could find was part-time here and there. Luckily, we still had some loyal customers that were still coming, and I was using every single dollar that I made. I was banking it because I needed to have money to pay the bills. So, that's, then I rented this place out. Again, at the time when I mentioned the money talk follow-up, I mentioned the mega shed that I wasn't sure if this was a good investment. Come to find out, it was a lifesaver because
It was a saving grace.
yeah, it was a saving grace because I was able to rent it out to a guy that I knew that worked at Target here in town, and he was looking to get out of the apartment that he was paying $1,200 a month for. I told him I could probably, save you $500, include utilities, which I did. He was here for about 8 months.
He was here for a while.
Yeah, he's here for almost a year, but not quite.
He's
Right
a good
when,
tenant.
yeah, right when Karen moved down was when he moved out. So it was perfect timing, except when we were moving her stuff. But yeah, he was renting this place for $700 a month. That money kept me afloat until I got the job that I have now, and plus Karen had already, made plans on coming down here. So to me, she was like my, I don't know how you would say it. It's like, you're my, not like a guardian angel, but it was like fate brought you to me after what I had been through, all because of this one video, because she had gone through something similar, and we talked. We communicated mostly just by comments in the videos.
Yeah.
She gave me her number, but I never called. I mean,
No, he didn't. Because I told him, because I knew what he was going through. Okay, he was going through something way different than I was not married to Antonio. I was not married to him. He was killed by a drunk driver. I was not married to him, but I was with them for 12 years. But again, death is not going to affect me the way it would affect you. I'm not saying his death did not affect me. It did, because I had a lot I had to do. He had a big mansion that I had to close. He had a condo. I had to close that. He had accounts and everything, that had to be closed. And luckily, his family, his father and his brothers were very nice, very, very nice. And they helped me with things that I was having a little bit of difficulty with, but I knew what he was going through because I had already been through it. Tony had been gone 2 years, because I started talking to Richard in April, and he was killed May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, so I don't celebrate that. So it was 2 years. So he died like 8 months before Richard's wife did. So, I was already
on the road to recovery.
Yeah, seasoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I was just grasping at straws. I mean, I had no focus. That was even despite our differences. That it gave me focus, whether it was for the next trip to Mexico or trying to make the next, bill for the month, the monthly payment. It's weird that, fate, and I call it a twist of fate, because fate took my first wife out of the equation because I really had no idea how I would stabilize things. It was little by little, it was getting to the point I couldn't control it. I couldn't maintain the financial stability here. And, I was just, every day I was thinking, how am I going to save my house? And then fate struck. Unfortunately, it's weird. But then fate brought Karen into my life. And that's why I felt like, things happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that. Everything happens for a reason. Whether it was, Yachty being taken from me, Karen brought to me. That's all I can think of. Because, a lot of people, when they lose their spouse, I mean, it just devastates. It destroys their lives for the rest of their life. For me, I mean, that's kind of where I thought I was going, but Karen brought me stability, and I felt that that was an opportunity that I could not pass by. So when she came to visit, we were just talking. Um, at the time, I had almost gotten a job with Delta Airlines. This is behind the scenes. I had gone through 2 interviews and was supposed to go for a third, where I was going to drive to Atlanta and go to their headquarters and all that. It never happened. And, we were talking, about coming down at that time. But if I'd have gotten that job at Delta, she would have had to cancel her ticket. She would have lost her money for the ticket to come down here. And then I wound up putting in for the job that I have now. And actually, that was a crazy thing. I had the interview the day we got married. Remember that?
Yep.
I mean, I wore my interview clothes to the courthouse. So, and not long after that, I wound up getting the job. Like literally almost 2 months later, I got the job. So I wound up having a new woman in my life. I had a new job, a very good job, by the way. So I felt like this was an opportunity I couldn't pass by. And I'm not one for passing up on opportunities. A second chance at happiness is what I viewed this as. And, behind the scenes, like I said, I've been working a lot here lately. But with this company now, going on 10 months. And things are little by little progressing. I managed to get a stable, full-time permanent position now in 9 months with this job. So, and behind the scenes, yeah, I mean, Karen's been here basically just enjoying her retirement. We've got plans. We're going to do trips, but right now, this year is probably out because I still have, work that I have to do. Vacation time will probably not be approved because everybody that's more senior than me have already got approved their vacation. So being the low man on the totem pole, I got to work my way up. So more than likely next year we'll probably be going on a trip. We're going to discuss that probably behind the scenes, figure out what we're going to do.
And let's be realistic, subs. Okay, let's be realistic. I mean, now, all you have to do is go back and look at the videos. Okay, it'll tell its own story. I mean, I have people that I worked with that have seen the older videos and compared them to the new videos. And I mean, even some of you subs have noticed the change in Richard. And people who don't even really know everything, but they got a good grasp of what was going on, can see the difference in Richard. That he's not stressed anymore. Because when Richard comes home, all Richard has to do is sit at the table because the food is cooked, it's ready. When he was at Ebenezer, he got 2 hot meals a day because he doesn't eat breakfast.
Yeah.
So he would come home to a hot lunch. He'd come home to a hot dinner every day. Well, except Saturdays. Saturdays is I don't cook on Saturdays. That's the only day I don't cook. Is Saturday.
And normally I would go to like Jersey Mike's. And
Yeah,
again, my job would bring me close to places that where I think she might enjoy something to eat.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes I don't ask for anything.
yeah. And now that you're on this diet, well, I can't really get you a whole lot.
No. Well, listen, we gotta go get my vegetables.
Oh, I know.
But even a couple of my friends that don't really even say too much notice things. And they're like, well, how come this wasn't? And they'll ask me, did I ever watch some of the older videos? And I'm like, no, I don't watch that. I don't. That has nothing to do with me. What went on before me, I'm not interested in. Now it does concern me because the stupid shit that she did, I have to deal with, and I had to deal with, and I shouldn't have had to. And
what she means by that, it's just like the trust factor. I mean, I trust her, otherwise she wouldn't be here. And she's one that made a leap of faith moving here, only knowing me by my videos and us talking for hours, sometimes all day, for months, for over a year. And when she came down, this was kind of like a blind date thing. And, you know, again, I'm still, we're going on the third year that I lost, Yachty. Now, I'm definitely a lot happier now as time's going on. Time heals all. I mean, Kate's said that before. That's it's still going to take some time, but I'm a lot happier and stress free than I'd ever been. And
because it's quiet.
yeah,
Because when he comes home, everything's done. His property is taken care of. The mega shed is clean. His house is clean. His clothes are clean. His food is cooked. So everything he wasn't getting, he is getting now.
yeah. And this is something she wants to do. I don't have to. I'm not asking her or telling her to do this.
Well,
This is you. This is
that's,
all you.
well, you're working all day and I'm here. I mean,
Yeah.
why? That's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, if you're working all day and I'm here, the house is supposed to be clean. Okay, you shouldn't come home and the first thing you smell is garbage. Okay, because it's piling up. No, you take that damn garbage out.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to walk in the house and smell somebody's toilet. I mean, really? Really? No. You keep the house clean. You vacuum up, you pick up stuff, you wash the clothes, you don't leave them in the dryer for 2 days. When they're done, take them out, hang them up. That's ridiculous.
And she's got her own routine. Like today was what, wash day or
Yeah, today's wash day.
yeah, Wednesday and Sundays.
Wednesday, yeah, because I keep him, I keep his clothes clean for his job. And, today is wash day. Normally, I do his bathroom, because we each have our own bathroom. I do his bathroom, the bedroom, and the wash.
Yeah, you've got this one too, so you got two bathrooms.
Yeah, I have
The mega
two places I have to take care of. The mega shed and the main house.
Yeah.
Then I have the properties that have to be taken care of. Weeds have to be pulled, the
Plants need to be watered.
the plants need to be watered, they have to be trimmed.
Yeah.
There's plenty to do around here. I'm busy now, I'm in my donation phase. I'm going through things that I really don't need, and people could be using that stuff, so, get rid of that. But, no, when he comes home, it's quiet. It's peaceful, it's quiet, and sometimes I'll mosey on, he don't even know where I am, until he comes looking for me, because I'm off getting into things. But because I have to have peace of mind. If I can't have peace of mind here, I'll have to leave and go where I can get it, because I'm not going to come home to chaos. I mean, he's had to deal with chaos for years. That's ridiculous. I mean, I only dealt with it for 2.5 years, and I was like, oh, the hell with this shit. I told him, I wouldn't have put up with that shit for 16 years. Are you crazy?
Yeah, see, I'm not known for my patience. My parents, even you've noticed, I mean, sometimes I just don't have patience. But I got to credit my submarine training because whether it's, what I went through or the idiot boss that I've had to deal with, which amazingly I haven't had to deal with him for a while now, which is great. I developed patience when needed, but there were times where I was really, I thought my patience was going to run out, and it was again just, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I try to, put the past in the past because it's, I really don't like to think about it much anymore. But the here and now, I'm much happier, and I'm definitely happy with Karen for her first year of marriage. And you should show your presents. 'Cause I got these specifically for you. I didn't have a chance to wrap them because, again, I'm busy.
Yeah.
So I apologize in
I
advance.
got a bag soon.
And you got a bag. It's blue because it's your favorite color.
Blue's my favorite color.
Yeah, but I think you're going to like these. And she has not seen these, by the way. So
No.
this could be interesting, her reaction.
Yeah.
Because she's going to know that I really do love her.
Yeah, I'm gonna know, son.
Box inside a box. How's that
Yeah.
for romantical?
Subs. Subs.
Can't read that.
Oh, I thought you said. It's so cute, Sib. See, I don't like I'm not a diamond person. Subs. I couldn't care less about. I have diamonds because the men that I was with were all businessmen. You know, so they all had money. And, you know, for anniversary stuff like that, you know, I don't like diamonds, so they didn't know what to get me. You know, so I told them I like pearls better than diamonds. So that's what they would get me. And Richard here, can you see that, son?
Mm-hmm.
Has given me a pearl necklace.
Yep.
You know, because I really don't, I mean, yeah, I have diamond rings, yeah, that Richard, you know, got for me or whatever. And yeah, I do wear them, you know, because I'm married now. But I really like pearls over diamonds. You know, I think I told Richard that
Long time ago.
years ago.
I remember, you know, things from the past a lot. So I just happened to jot some notes. I'm like, oh, she likes pearls.
Yeah, I don't really care for diamonds.
You open the other one. So yeah, I was doing some research behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, that would look. That would look beautiful for you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Sue.
Yeah. For my beautiful wife.
Yeah. I'm a beautiful wife, Sue.
Wow. That's funny. Here's another little trinket
Look,
for you.
Sibs.
Some matching.
And I got a matching pearl bracelet too, Sibs. Can you
Yeah.
see it? Can you see that?
Yeah, tilt it up a little bit. There you go.
Okay.
That's the light gets on it. Yep. I got you pearls.
Yeah, 'cause I like pearls, Sibs. I don't like diamonds.
You're my pearl of a girl.
I'm a pearl girl, Sibs.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I got for her on our first official anniversary.
Yeah.
And
We're official.
we're official. Yeah, and like I said, that was my decision to kind of keep that quiet.
Yeah, because I told him, Subs, when he asked me to marry him, I told him, was he absolutely sure?
Mhm.
You know, because I told everybody else, I told him just like I told everybody else. You know, I'm not trying to get married. I was married, it didn't work. Matter of fact, when my divorce came through, I used to have, you know, good money for a gold frame. I had it up on my wall for 10 years. You know, I would have guests over, and they'd, what's that? So that's my divorce decree. Why is it on the wall? To remind me not to do it again. Oh, well, you should take that down. No, it's staying right where it is. And it stayed up for 10 years. Only time, well, I didn't take it down, it fell down. I came in one day, and I had a box or groceries or something, and the door hit the wall, which it had done hundreds of times. But this time, it knocked it off, and it fell and broke. So I'm like, okay, it's time to take it down now. You know, so I did. But other than that, it would have still been up there. But no. You know, so, you know, like I said, I sit everybody down, give them the same speech. You know, I'm not trying to get married. So
And I didn't listen.
no, because I told him I thought, you know, he would want to, you know, date for a couple of years, you know, to see what's out there, you know, because he hadn't been with anybody else for what, 16 years?
Yeah.
You know, you know, going out and see, you know, what's all out there.
Now, I was, like I said, I felt like fate had brought her to me, and I felt like maybe I need to go ahead and snag her. Let's put it bluntly. You know, if I could do it, I'm going to try, because I felt like she was brought to me for a reason, And so it was simply spur of the moment. That night before, we took a drive out. Oh yeah, the drive out.
Oh, that was comical.
Oh man.
Sibs.
Yeah, the engine started acting up on the van. Now, if you remember the video, you can probably go back a year. I was at my buddy's shop, and we were troubleshooting. They were troubleshooting the engine on the van. Come to find out, number 6 ignition coil went bad on the way to the courthouse. So the van was sputtering. It was running on 5 cylinders, so it was running real rough. And I was like, damn, this is not good. If we break down, we're going to have to get towed, and maybe this isn't going to happen. But amazingly, the van got there. It was still on 5 cylinders, but once we got back in town, that's when I started the video, because I didn't even record the road trip out to and from the courthouse. I wanted, again, to keep this secret. I wanted to keep it on the down low. But once we got back in town, I was like, hey, let's stop by my buddy's shop. And you'll see me and her. We're dressed up. She's in her dress. I'm in my nice, I guess you could say, professional-looking clothes. And because we had just come from the courthouse to apply for the marriage.
Yeah, he had just come from his interview.
Yeah, I just came from my interview, then we went to the courthouse afterwards, and on the way back is when the van started to act up. So it was really kind of bizarre. And then the marriage license, we had to do that 3 times because the notary, first time we screwed up filling
Everybody did.
Yeah, we filled out the signatures and everything in the wrong place.
Yeah, everybody signed in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And I didn't sign with my name. I signed with.
That's your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Okay. I signed with my old married name, and I wasn't supposed to do that. No, I signed with my new married name. I was supposed to sign with my old name.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it.
So, yeah, that screwed up.
And
then we did it a second time, and then the notary backdated it, which apparently you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to put the current date, even though the license was backdated to July 3rd. And so that, we had to do it for a third time. Now, by this time, Karen had already gone back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'd gone home.
So she was in Pittsburgh, and I had to get the marriage license, reapply, mail it to her. She mailed it back with her signature, and again, the notary, screwed up, so I had to do it for a third time and mail it to her, sign it again.
But they didn't charge us.
No, they didn't charge us
No,
because
they didn't charge us.
Normally they would charge, because of mistakes, but because it was, I don't know, because it
I don't know
happened
what
so many
happened,
times.
but because normally they would charge you to have it redone.
Yeah.
But the first time, I signed with the wrong name,
Yeah.
and everybody signed in the wrong space.
Yeah.
The second time, she signed on the original date that we came there.
Yeah.
And the judge said, no, you have to backdate it, which Richard's a notary, and they're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to backdate except on a marriage license.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about notary.
Yeah, so that kind of delayed things even more. We finally got it fixed, I think, by July 17 or something. It was like literally 2 weeks after we had initially applied,
Yeah.
sending it back and forth and all that, and finally getting it to where the court would accept it.
Yeah,
And
because it takes 3 days to get to Pittsburgh. Then it took 3 days for Pittsburgh to send the mail back down here.
yeah,
So, but he was getting really flustered, which
Yeah.
I'm looking at it like, it's quite an adventure to look back on.
yeah.
But he didn't see it that way at all.
No, I was like, this is petty. Let's get this done. This is, because it's backdate, no big deal. Notaries aren't supposed to do that, and they knew that. But because it's a marriage license, oh no, it has to be backdated because that's the date of the license, but you gotta put the current date of the notary seal. I'm like,
And the notary did not charge him.
no, didn't charge,
Didn't
and the
charge
court
at all.
didn't charge
No, they didn't.
because that was good. So
That was a good sign.
yeah, it was a good sign, and we actually got it done, and we're official now.
We're official, Steve.
Yeah, we're official.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted to at least share that with you because we've been talking now for a while.
Yeah.
Almost an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I don't know. But yeah, we wanted to at least let you get caught up to speed on what.
And I did get him a gift sub, but it won't come till Friday. I
Oh.
can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, well, we'll show that when it arrives.
Yeah,
So.
I can't do nothing about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you forget our anniversary?
No, I didn't forget
No,
subs.
no, she didn't.
I'll pay him no attention, subs.
Yeah, I know. I'd make funnies, but no.
Yeah, I don't pay him no attention.
This gift I searched for. I mean, I was trying to keep the secret because, I'm searching around, but she's in the room with me, and I'm trying to browse.
At his computer stuff, I'm usually off with the spooks.
Yeah.
I'm usually in the living room or in the bedroom, or I'm over here at the mega shed. I'm always looking at spooky stuff. So normally I'm so engrossed in that hours go by. I don't unless he comes over here. I have no idea. And there's clocks here, but I'm not looking at the clocks.
Yeah.
You know, I'm with the spooky stuff.
Hmm.
So you know, because I was watching, you know, that movie It with the clown. You know, I watch that. You know, and just stuff on YouTube. So I lose track of time. And you know, he'll come and get me. You know, and usually I'm over here, you know, cleaning or in the back, you know, going through things and stuff like that. You know, but the life he has now is totally different.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's like night and day. I mean, you know, granted, you know, the 16 years, you know, it wasn't all bad, but a lot of it was, there was just a lot more stress behind the scenes and, you know, stuff that I couldn't control. And we're here, it's equal. We work together, we talk together, we plan things together. It's not done, you know, behind each other's back. Yeah, well, a couple of times I think with the house project, you know, I didn't converse with her. Hey, I got to get this project done, and I kind of left her with the contractors here because that's when we discovered termites with the door, and I didn't communicate with her. You know, maybe that's one of my issues that I'm still getting over from the past because that was just something we did. You know, she did things, I did things, and then we told each other after the fact, and we just, I don't know, didn't really work together on a lot of things other than going to Mexico. But you know, again, those days are over. Still have people that ask me if I'm going back to Mexico, and I keep telling everybody, no, this is my new life now. I'm putting Mexico in my past, so you know, it's just because it needs to be that way because of what went on behind the scenes and because of, you know, my life now. So this, you know, Karen's my focus, and we're planning our future together. And there's other places in the world to go and visit and see, and we're going to do that, you know, in the future. So.
Yeah, and I let him, you know, take his time, Steps. I didn't want him like rushing into anything. That's why I told him, you know, you need to think carefully, you know, about this, you know.
And I did, honestly, I did. Because from our talks, you know, again, I'm pretty good, I guess, evaluator of people in general, just talking to them. I pick up on, you know, even people at work. There's a lot of people I can talk to and get along with. There's others that are pretty shady, and I know not to talk to them because they're looking to try to start drama, you know, type of stuff. So, talking with Karen for over a year before I decided to make this decision. I felt like, you know, I knew enough about her just talking to her on the phone, and then when she came down, and she was exactly how she described herself, if not better, in person. I was like, you know, this has to be, you know, too good to be. It can't be too good to be true. So I took a leap of faith, and I have not regretted it. So I'm happy with you.
Yeah, I'm used to everything being equal. Okay, I'm used to if you don't want it done to you, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I'm not going to put up with that. And after what he's been through, why would he want to put up with it? I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, if you have your own agenda, fine, stay by yourself. You can do whatever you want. Don't drag other people into your bullshit. You know, because you and your family, they got together, you figure, oh, okay, here's an American. Okay, so he has money, or they perceive he has money. Okay, so you can help us do this, that, and the other. That wasn't his responsibility. And if she figured that was her responsibility, she should have kept it to herself.
Mm-hmm.
Once she came up here, Subs, she should have left all that drama down there. She chose not to. And I know there's going to be those, well, you don't have to, I can say whatever the hell I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to deal with the aftermath. I mean, you know, you didn't see what I saw. You know, you didn't have to deal with what I had to deal with. You know, so, you know, I don't want to hear, oh, well, you know, she's dead now, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? When she was alive, she didn't give a damn, so why should I? You know, you don't do dirt and then think it's never going to come back on you. Oh, yes, it is. It is going to come back in a way to punish you exactly for what you did.
Yeah, what comes around goes around. That's another Yeah.
You know, she worshiped money.
Yeah.
So you know what happened? That was used against her. You worship money so much. Okay, where's the money at now?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you need it the most, where is it? Okay, but she did that to herself. He didn't do it. She did it. You know, what goes around comes around. Sometimes when you least expect, in the form you least expect. And the person you treat the worst is the one, God will fix it. That's the one you have to go to for help. And if they choose not to help you, what are you going to do? They don't have to help you. It's up to them. They don't owe you anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like I told him, I wouldn't have done it. Sorry, no. I wouldn't have done it. Nope. You gonna treat me like a dog when you're well, but when you're on your ass, you think I'm supposed to give up my life and take care of you? Hell with you. I'm not forgiving, subs. I don't have that. Compassion, I guess. I don't have that. You know, you treat me bad, and then just because you're sick, I'm supposed to just put everything on hold for you? Nope. Not here. I'm not doing it.
And I felt that as a husband, despite what went on behind the scenes, it was my responsibility as a husband to be there.
Which makes him 1,000 times better than me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it.
And, you know.
Because I don't figure I owe you something. You sat up there, you didn't consider my feelings. Are you worried about your feelings, your consideration, your loyalty was elsewhere. So
The family first.
So why should I help you?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's where your loyalty was, that's who you should go to for help, not me.
Mm-hmm.
What are you coming to me for? Oh, now you have time for me. Now. No, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I'd have handed her back over to them, because that's what I'd done in my family. My husband, I'd have handed his ass back over to them. You got to go where the money went. Bye. He never would have saw me or heard from me ever again in this life. I would not have gone to the hospital. I would not have gone to the funeral home. I would not have gone to the funeral. Nope. No. Because I don't figure I owe you that. Now, for the way you treat, you stole me blind, but I'm supposed to help you. Who says who?
Yeah.
You know, I only have to answer to God. I don't have to answer to you. I mean, if God asks me, you know, well, you know, you really didn't show much compassion, I'll have to say, well, Lord, I didn't get any. When they were up and healthy and running around, where was her compassion? You know, so what? Okay, why am I expected to do more just because they got sick? So, you know, I mean, that's just how I feel, because you mistreat me. I don't owe you anything. What do I owe you? No. No. And after I'm telling you time and time and time and time again, and you're still going to do it, but when you're on your ass, oh, I'm supposed to drop everything and look after you, you're going to die. If you're dependent on me, because I'm not going to do it. No, you go where the money went. That was your priority. Take your fat ass back to them. Let them take care of you, because that was your priority. Now it's time for you to be their priority. And if they don't want to take care of you, you're up shit's creek, because you're never going to see me again. I'll put your ass on a plane, on a bus, in a car, but you're leaving here, because I'm not going to take care of you.
Yeah, those days are over. There's not one single cent that's going south to Mexico from me again. I mean, what's down there, I've lost. I'll never get back. So it's time for me to rebuild, and that's exactly what I'm doing. With Karen in my life, I'm rebuilding our future together. So, you know, and that's, and again, this is just our first year, and it's been
fun, sis.
It's been a very fun year.
But I'm older, stuff, so I'm more calm, you know, and stable, you know, and I don't have unrealistic expectations of him, because I'm used to being with businessmen who weren't really there that much, because they had to work. They had to go out of town, blah, blah, blah. You know, sometimes I went with them. You know, they would send me, you know, plane tickets. Yeah, I can't take it anymore. I need you to come out here. These people are driving me crazy. You know, and I would go when I could because I worked too. You know, so I couldn't always go. So Richard not being around that much, he's not. He's really not around that much. You know, I'm usually off getting into things. You know, projects. I had a bunch of projects. You know, they're mostly all done except the back deck. That's really the only thing that needs to be.
Yeah, we're going to work on that. Right now, it's just too brutally hot.
It's almost 100. It was almost 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, it was like 97, 98 today.
Yeah, it's cooking
So,
my plant subs.
yeah, we're trying to save them, but yeah, the sun has been brutal this year. And this is the Carolina summer. I've told her about that, but yeah, we've got some projects. There's actually a project that I was working on in the front of the mega shot. I haven't even put on video because I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. I probably should have recorded it because it actually turned out pretty well, but I'll show you that in another video later on. But the fireworks are going to be going off here in town because of the 4th of July, probably in another couple hours. So I don't know if I'll add that to this video or make it a separate, but either way, we just wanted, might make it a separate one, yeah. But yeah, definitely wanted to at least let you all know, since a lot of you longtime subscribers have followed me through thick and thin, that hey, it's time to fill you in on the one big secret we've been keeping for a year.
Yeah, it was his fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. So, but yep, I got you presents because, you know, my way to show I love you and thank you for coming into my life for my first year.
Yeah.
And we hope to have many more, so.
I'm easy to get along with, Suze.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
I'm real easy to get along with.
So, on that note, we'll wrap up this
First anniversary.
Yeah, of Kate. I call her Kate, but her real name's Karen. Nickname is Kate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Karen and I. So, you know, if she responds to some of your videos, you'll probably see KLVR. The VR is me.
Yeah, it's him, Suze.
That's right.
Yeah, every once in a while I will. When it comes to his channel subs, it's his channel. You know, I mean, every once, like there have been a couple subs I did respond to. But mostly I leave it up to him. But every once in a while I'll chime in, you know. And you'll know because it has like the symbol of a little bird cage. You know, it's a lamp. Actually, it's a lamp in the dining room.
Yeah.
And it's a Tiffany. It's a Tiffany style lamp with birds in it.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll say KLVR. That's me.
Yeah. And I'm RVR.
Yeah.
Too.
You know. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I just want to thank you all for the ones that followed me through thick and thin. And the ventures are going to continue, and we'll go ahead and wrap this video up for our first anniversary. So hope you enjoyed it. Until the next thrilling video.
Yeah, which will be in about a couple hours.
Maybe, yeah. Fireworks, stay tuned.
Yeah.
So till then, get up. Adios.
Bye, Sid.